Hello, today I was thinking about what new stuff to show you, so then I thought of my little craft projects. I don't just paint on canvas, I also like to paint on wood. And frankly, I find that wood just seems to work a little better. Even though it eats up a lot of paint, it keeps out the lines very smooth. So then I had this little plain looking little box, and then I painted a fairy on it with acrylics. See, I even made the dress floral shape. And then on the sides I added little flowers and butterflies. As you can see, I use the color orange because there should be a little bit more orange in one's life. It is a very nice color and so forth. And I even painted the bottom of the box, even though that's a part of a wooden box that most folks normally don't bother with. But it's a 3D object, you can look at it from any angle. Now here's the $1,000,000 question. Does this box open? Unfortunately no, so mainly because when I added the varnish, I forgot to leave the box open, and now regardless of how hard I try to open it, it will not pry. But as a block of wood is entertaining enough, it just sits there looking pretty, failing on its prime directive. This is gonna be an overall general scene once we move on ahead on this video. Okay, here's some another stuff that I painted. It was just like very boring ceramic, you see, so then I just added a little bit of acrylic on it. The reason this little house, it has the colors of my old house back in the old country in Cuba, with the little mountains and so forth. See, the red roof, yellow walls and blue windows and a white door. That's kind of like how I learned my colors. My father would take me to walk around the neighborhood, and then he would teach me the colors as we would pass by the different houses and so forth. It is a very useful way of learning the colors, and it helps the kid lose weight and maintain proper form and so forth. So that's what I call multitasking. Another thing, okay, so here's something else that I painted. This was also made of very boring wood. So then I added a layer of white, and then I added blue in order to try to give like a mink vase type of feeling. See, I just thought it would make it look more fun. It's just a pestle and a mortar that is way too small to be of any use. And let's see if I can angle this right. See, in the middle I painted like a lot of nice swirling colors with glitter and so forth. See how it looks like? Very nice and shiny. I paint with glitter as much as possible because in the physical world, it's not captured in the photography, but with the camera you can kind of see how it looks with the different shadings and whatnot. And then here the pestle, I don't know how to pronounce that. And see, nice little shiny details. And that's how that one goes. This next one was just me trying out to make something out of clay. So then I made little fairy grottos and so forth. This one is like a type of constellation and so forth. It just seemed like something to do. And last year I was just trying out random stuff because I was starting to get a little bored of the painting, and sometimes you just gotta like switch it up a bit. I also made these little cups and so forth. They're just air dry clay. I used them recently in the doll video, in the Thanksgiving doll video. And here's another one. Nice and cute. And another little fairy grotto with nice acrylics and glitter. And the last one. The last thing I wanted to show you were some unpainted nesting dolls that I painted. Here's a tiny one. So I give it like a very nice, let's see the camera focus. And give it like a nice little glitter here and there. Here's the other one. Each one was themed after a different flower, for variety's sake, and a creepy little eye on the bottom, cause that's fun. See, this one's themed after the rose. I gave him a cute little teddy bear because that looks fun. And then you see the little floral body, a little flower on the head, and some weird stuff that I drew on the bottom, like runes. I forgot what they meant. I know that I made that it was a good gag, but it's been like a year, and for the life of me I can't remember what was the meaning of this randomness that I put it on the bottom of the larger nesting dolls. See, this one I gave him a ball in a cup. You know, like you throw the little ball and then you try to catch it in the spiky stuff. That one's also themed after a nice little flower. I think they might be, I don't remember the type of flower. Aside from then, I added little glitter goldfishes. See, it has a nice sheen. And in the face, I started adding like suits of card patterns. And now the bigger one. She has hummingbirds on the dress, and unlike most nesting dolls, this one's playing around with a cell phone. I do little hearts on the face. I thought that would make it fun. And then the back, I have a nice little white flower with a lovely purple background. I'm always trying to work with unusual colors. Mainly because I want to use up all of the colors in my art supply sets. So since I'm a bit of a stingy type of like I don't like to waste stuff. So I just like if I'm not using it, I might as well use it. And it's something to do also. And now for the last nesting doll, the big one. Here's the big girl. I gave her a bag of cookies. She was the first one I made of all of the entire set, and I themed her after an orchid. I like orchids. I used to have one like in my main tree, but like, you know, it died eventually. As most things happen with like gardening and stuff. Some days you figure it out, other days you have no idea what you're doing wrong. And regardless of how much you try, you just can't seem to make things better. Well, as with the little fairy box and whatnot, when I added the varnish, I couldn't like open it, and I didn't want to mess up the paint, so the nesting dolls no longer nest. They just sort of like sit there like so, and then They just like do whatever. I mean, they make good decoration and so forth, but the whole nesting doll aspect was lost during the painting process. So in the future, if I'm gonna do like the nesting doll thing again, I'm gonna make certain to dry the paints with the dolls separate instead of having them fused and then trying to pry them open and risk messing out the paint. So that's about all the little items I painted when I'm trying to do like craft stuff to like vary stuff. So I hope you try to keep things fresh. Bye bye and God bless.